Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engineers. Got another review for you today, guys. We're looking at the Retribution class deck carrier. This is something I just spied on the workshop. Wasn't on the front page, but it did look quite interesting. I've put a few fighters on this ship. We've got, I think this is the Cosmo, and then we've also got the Mjolnir, which is built by the same creator, which I believe is called Direxion. Not sure if I'm saying that right. That's my best attempt at saying that name. So let's roll the cinematics and have a little read. Give it a like first, obviously. So, the lore. With looming threats, keen hinting to a PvE update, and the fleet being upgraded and refitted to a newer Flight 3 iteration of the ESDF High Command and Materials Administrations, decided it was finally time for the Retribution class to get its upgrade to its Flight 3 iteration. Primary changes consisted mainly of redesign of its flight deck and landing pads to make them lighter but still as resilient to thruster damage while reducing weight, and changing the large refinery for two basic ones in order to cut down on both cost and weight. Interior conveyors and propulsion also received an upgrade. And that's actually all we have in terms of description. If you have any feedback, I would love to hear it. That's something we'd love to see. That's something we can absolutely do. Let me just confirm the name of these fighters here in case you guys want to check them out real quick. So, yeah, we've got the Mjolnir multi-role fighter and we've got the Cosmo Viggen strike fighter. So these are the Cosmos over here, which I think are very coherent with the overall design language of the ESDF faction. Very nice fighters, very aerodynamic features. As you can see, we do have various atmospheric thrusters dotted around. Down here as well, we've got the new flat ones. So this thing can obviously quite comfortably fly in atmosphere. So we'll have a little look around the exterior. Starting at the stern, we've got very, very pretty thruster array back here. We've got these two large, encased, well-protected hydrogen engines. Lovely thruster cones there, with the aft deck extending beyond that thruster package. We've got some point defense turrets dotted around here. This thing is armed exactly how I would arm a carrier, so very point defense focused. This is going to be sitting back from the fleet engagements and screening against any fighters that are trying to poke at it, shooting down torpedoes, that sort of thing. For which Gatling guns are perfect, high fire rate, high bullet velocity, so that's what you want. We've got some landing gear down here. Again, very coherent style. The same sort of landing gear are used on the fighters, as you can see. So we've got a use of a few digital camo regions dotted around. Sorry, my stutter's kicking in there. We've got some oxygen farms back here as well. They're not really going to do much, but I guess it will supplement oxygen production. Connectors port and starboard. Do have a walkway around, so you can actually walk around this upper deck here. In terms of carrying capacity, we've got 4 forward, 4 aft, and then 1 starboard, 1 port. And you do have these connector, these external connectors here, which you could dock fighters to, but I'm guessing those are primarily for berthing or refueling the vessel. So the landing gear are fixed. They just kind of look like they could potentially be tucked away, which is a nice touch. Very nice. It's quite a simple design, but it's well thought out in terms of where things are and what's happening where. The balance of the overall ship is quite back heavy, as you can see from here, which is okay for a strike carrier. Like, it's absolutely no problem. The one thing that would overcome that potentially is if you put the bridge 2 to 3 blocks further back. Going to head in through the bridge entrance here on the deck. Some of these new terminals here. Target lock. Got some windows, which again people don't like on bridges, but I love them. Got the jump officer. Sorry, bad joke. First officer, and then you've got the pilot seat. Console in here. Would be nice to display the ship, but I guess you can put whatever you want on there. And then we have stairs. Oh, thank God. Someone uses stairs. Got a vent in the ceiling there. And then nice use of the wood texture down here. Got a bit of a mess hall. Cooking appliances. Got a vending machine there. Jukebox. Various inset decorative blocks. And then we come back here. Storage room. We've got programmable block controls. Got an engineering seat. Access to the jump drives. Battery banks. Reactors. And then the production facilities as well as the gravity generator there. So an excellent engineering room. You've got access to everything you need to back here. You can make repairs as needed. And we've also got shelves with components. So obviously you can grind down to get those components if needed. Excellent lighting as well. We've got some buttons here. So FTL drive on off. So jump drives recharge. Gravity on off, and then turn the gyroscope on off. Don't know why you'd want to do that. Okay, let's head towards the bow again. So through the mess hall. Here we have the airlock area. So we've got some armories, and then out into the airlock. I believe this is using Whip's auto script, which is why the doors keep shutting. Heading towards the bow, we have a medical room and some fish. Nice wooden desk. There's the medical room. Here's the fish. Continuing towards the bow. Crew quarters. So various beds dotted all around. Some couches. And then we also have a bathroom here. So that's the interior of the Retribution, and also the exterior. We've had a proper fly around of it now. It's a very good ship. I'm trying to think of pointers that I could potentially give and any criticisms I can give. But in terms of where my head's at the moment, I think you've got a streamlined interior, which is very clean, well lit. Every room does what it's supposed to. The crew quarters is obviously crew quarters, clear mess hall. You've got a clear medical room, and the engineering room does everything you need an engineering room to do. So it's very well laid out, very easy to navigate, which is a good thing. You've got clear airlocks on the side, and you've also got an airlock behind the bridge, which some people do, some people don't. The advantage of that is if you're in a hurry, it's going to take you a lot longer to go through here up into the bridge than it is to just go in there, jump into the ship and fly away. The exterior, again, is mirroring the interior in the fact that it's quite streamlined. It's a simplistic shape that is used. I mean, there's nothing crazy going on here, but it looks good. Everything is where it should be. Obviously, that balance is just it's subjective. It's well armoured, we've got blast doors, it's got the right armament for a carrier, so really this is, I mean, it's a tricky word to use, but this is a perfect example of a deck carrier, or something that I would potentially call like a support carrier, or even like an escort carrier, because these ships aren't going to be well protected, so the fighters and such, when they're on the deck and not launched, they're quite exposed. You know, a strafing run, a torpedo could quite easily wipe out your fighters, which is not good. You've got point defense, but it's not excessive point defense. So it's more of that supporting carrier function. But for what it is, and it doesn't claim to be anything else, it's actually a really good ship. It's got extremely well balanced thrusters. The fighters are obviously separate from the ship, but they are also lovely as well. So I do think that you guys should check this out. I think it is a very, very good example of a carrier done right. Too many times I see carriers with very complicated interiors, people worrying too much about like where the bridge is located. They're worrying too much about armament as well. Like, you don't need big guns on a carrier. the fighters are supposed to do all the damage for you, or the majority of the damage for you. Just want to protect yourself. And then also the interior layout, as I mentioned, is very streamlined, very easy to navigate, something that a lot of people, including myself, can learn from there. So yeah, overall, it's an excellent ship. Tricky for me to give pointers, it really is, because of how well designed this is. I would say patches of heavy armour could help, not absolutely necessary. I'd say within the interior that there's a lot of allotted space for crew quarters, but I'm guessing that's considering all like the fighter pilots and stuff, right? Which is absolutely fine. And then the bridge, I would have probably tucked the bridge a bit further back, but where it is at the moment is absolutely fine as well. Point defense coverage, I can see why you've used Gatling turrets, and I'm pretty sure the builder is quite aware that custom turrets would have been better suited for a point defense role. You could just do bull Gatling turrets, stick 8 barrels in there, and away you go, or 6 barrels or 4 barrels or what have you. It would be more effective. But for simplicity, you can quite easily build this in survival. It's a very good ship. It's got production facilities. Go and check it out in the description below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do like, comment and subscribe to support the channel. And as always, take care, everybody.